friends, I'm coming to you from the future because I apparently forgot how to vlog. I started this vlog and I went straight into finishing a book, telling you that I read it without actually introducing the readathon or even the book that I was reading. So I'm here to do that now. So during the month of April, I participated in the Disability Readathon, which I also did last year and I enjoyed it a lot, so I did it again this year. And it is a readathon hosted by Erin and someone else, but I will definitely have their information linked down below. There are prompts to the readathon, although I didn't use them this year, but it's a very casual, laid-back readathon, and the only hard set rule is to make sure that you are reading books or consuming content created by disabled people. And so you could be books, as I did. All of my content were books, but you don't have to choose books for this readathon. It could be absolutely any kind of content. It could be a YouTube video, it could be a play or a movie or an Instagram post or a Twitter post. It doesn't matter how you're consuming content so long as it was created by a disabled person. So I did follow that rule. And the first book that I started with is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. And in it we follow Chloe Brown, who has chronic fatigue and chronic pain. And one day she has a near-death experience unrelated to her disability. But she has a near-death experience, and it kind of makes her feel like her life is not what she wants it to be, and so she makes this list of things that she thinks will help her get a life. And it starts by moving out of her parents' big fancy mansion and into her own apartment. And once she does that, she meets her apartment building superintendent, and she enlists his help to help her check off all the other things on her list. And this is a contemporary romance novel, and so you can imagine where it goes from there. Back in January, I took a trip to Disney, not for my birthday, but it was around my birthday, which apparently is becoming an annual tradition since we did it last year as well, but that's not the point of this. The point is that when I was there, every night after a park, my chair would die, my battery would die, and that typically doesn't happen. There's usually no problem with it, no matter how many times I go on back and forth throughout the park. And so when we got home, I made an appointment with the service people to come out and look at it, and they came and they agreed, like, yes, you do need a new battery. And he said that they would put in the order for the new battery that day, and then we'd make an appointment in a couple of weeks for him to come back out and actually fix it. So after that appointment, I waited and I waited and I waited, and it was probably 3 or 4 weeks at that point, and I hadn't heard anything. So I called them back, and they hadn't even ordered it yet. So the girl who answers the phone, she's like, okay, we'll go ahead and order that today. Okay. And then we scheduled it for the appointment 2 or 3 weeks after that to give it time to come in, and that would have been today. So that appointment was today. So I was supposed to get a new battery this morning, but so they were supposed to be here between 9 and 10 this morning. And about 9:45, they call in to reschedule. But luckily, they are open on Friday, this coming Friday, which is Good Friday, so I wasn't sure if they were going to be open, which works out good because I can't be in my chair for them to work on it, and my cousin Jessica, who is also my care worker, obviously she needs to be here to help me in and out of my chair, but she has another job as well, and so she's off on Friday at her other job, and luckily they're open, so we're gonna hopefully have a new battery on Friday, but it's just been a big mess. So, but I suppose it's a good month to have it, to at least document it during Disability Readathon. In any case, I did finish reading Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and I loved it. it was so sweet. And it wasn't a romance where it was just, you know, a deep lust or obsession kind of romance. It was actually quite a healthy relationship. There were a lot of discussions, not only of needs, but, you know, anxieties and faults and all of that, which was really, really nice to read and to experience it and not just be your typical kind of romance novel. But it was also very relatable. So obviously Chloe is disabled. She had chronic fatigue and chronic pain, I believe. And while we don't share the same disability, not related in that way, but her experiences with the people in her life regarding her disability. So oftentimes the people in your everyday life, so friends and family, can be some of the more closed-minded people when it comes to your disability, which you would think would be the opposite, but that is definitely not always the case. And so it was really relatable, at least for me, of how that played out in Chloe's life as well. So I actually really enjoyed this. I loved their banter, and I loved them together. They were a fantastic couple, and I really loved it. And with all the chaos this morning, I meant to grab one of the physical books on my TBR instead of the library books, but I didn't. One of my library holds did become available, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with that because it's here and I can read it. And it is The Kids Quotient by Helen Hoang. I'm not sure how to say that. This is another romance because apparently I love romance this year. I feel like that's basically all I've been reading this year, with the exception of a few middle grades. But The Kids Quotient. We follow a woman who is, I don't know if she's a scientist or an engineer or something. She works in STEM somehow. I'm not exactly sure what she does, but she is autistic, and I believe she hires an escort to help her learn relationship skills, I think, or something along those lines. So we're gonna have I'm gonna assume that it is a fake dating rom-com kind of book, but we will see. Been a few days, and I have not read at all since I started the book last Wednesday. It's now Monday, but I did get a new battery, and turns out I need a new motor in one of my wheels because it was making a noise, but we thought maybe it would be one of the caster wheels, but it's not because it's still clicking even though I have a new one. So we got to get that fixed. And I got my annual haircut because I literally only get a haircut about once a year. And that's it. We did absolutely nothing. We had no family plans for Easter. We just stayed home and watched a lot of movies. So I don't really have a whole lot of updates on the book because obviously I haven't read since I started it. So I don't really have any thoughts other than I'm a little bit worried that it's going to turn into all she needs is some good sex to fix her disability, her autism. It's not there yet, but it kind of feels like that might be where it's going, which is clearly not okay in any way and not at all how any of this works. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes. I did find the audiobook at the library, so I can maybe get through it a little bit faster than just reading it like I was doing. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully I can get at least 2 books finished for this readathon, since April is almost over and I've only finished 1 book. So we'll see. Okay, so it's a few days later and I finished the Kiss Quotient, and while it didn't fully go where I thought it was gonna go, it did just a little bit. So while she never completely lost any of her autistic traits because of Michael overall, but she did in the bedroom and only with Michael. So I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. I'm glad it didn't completely, quote, fix her, because that would have been really bad, but it still wasn't completely, at least to my knowledge. Obviously, I'm not autistic. I don't know. It very well may work that way, but I would think that it would not, because it really did just about completely disappear anytime they were having sex or being in the bedroom or being intimate in any way. So that was a little iffy for me, but overall it was cute. I didn't love it, but it was okay. It wasn't bad. And if you like contemporary romances, I would say pick it up. It was a cute, fun read, and I did enjoy the characters. They were cute. I liked them. And then I also picked up and finished one last book for this readathon, which was Pet by Akweake Emezi. This one was really, really short. It was only about 200 pages long, so I didn't really vlog too much about it because I can't really talk a whole lot about it without giving the entire short book away. But in it, we follow actually quite a lot of diverse characters in this book. We follow Jam, who is a young, selectively mute trans girl, and her best friend Redemption, who is one of the siblings within a 3-parent household. And Jam's mother is an artist, and one day she paints this creature, and Jam sneaks into her art room and somehow makes this creature come to life. It actually crawls out of the painting, and it says that it's there to hunt a monster. But the thing about it is that Lucille, which is the town that Jam and her friend lives in, has been completely devoid of monsters for a really long time. It's taught in school that monsters no longer exist, yet this creature crawled out of a painting to go and hunt one. And so we kind of just follow along their journey in finding the monster and getting rid of it. I thought this was just okay. I didn't love it. It was more of a social commentary rather than a novel, which you can appreciate. I did really enjoy the message behind it. It was nice, but it just didn't quite blow me away as I thought it might. So really, it was just a look into society and humans as a whole, and how the things that we hide or ignore can become really huge problems. And so it just kind of follows those themes and explores it through this sort of not quite full fantasy, but a little bit more magical than, say, magical realism, sort of a hybrid between the two. And it did, like I said, it was okay. I didn't love it, but it by no means was it a bad book. So, and I did love all the names. All the characters in the book had really great names, like Jam and Redemption and Bitter and Aloe, and just all kinds of really fun names that I enjoyed. With that is going to be the last book that I read for this readathon. It is the end of the month now, so we're going to be wrapping up. And I do thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed it at least a little bit. And I hope that means I see you soon.